Hello everybody, me again, coming at you with another video from the backlog. This time, actually carrying on where I last left off. So this is the next round, round 5 of Tora's British GT Esports Series 2019. This one took place in late July, so still around about half a year ago. So here we go then, off the start, 9th place, pretty quiet on the run to turn 1, little bit of little bit of contact, but you know, it's a very tight corner, so I suppose you're going to get that sort of thing at a first corner at a track like Spa. So down into Eau Rouge and Raidillon for the first time, taking it pretty cleanly. A couple of cars up ahead, maybe not so, but again, when there's so much of a pack, it's not really that big of a deal. And tell you what, I got a bloody nice run. See you later, Pluto. I think he lifted off there for me. That was very polite of him. I don't know if I maybe messed up quali or if he out-qualified me on a phenomenal lap. Typically at VPR we would play nice with each other, and if we thought someone else was likely to be quicker, we just let them through. So maybe that's what was happening there. Maybe he just didn't want to fight it because it was the first lap. Maybe he missed a gear. I don't know. I do love to speculate about things I haven't got a clue about what was happening. But yeah, so short story is, started 9th, half a lap later, I'm in 8th. And now feeling comfortable to swap into my preferred race view, as I so often do. I like to start in third person just for that extra visibility. Oh no, okay, now bonnet view appears to be my preferred race view. That did not look like an intentional dive. The McLaren up ahead, very slow into the first part of this chicane. And I fully went for it up the inside. Yeah, just sort of on my normal racing line, really, by the looks of things. Obviously, this is only the first lap, but I'm assuming that was my normal racing line, because it didn't look like I really went for I was really lining up any sort of move. Anyway, yeah, I'm rambling again. Who loves it? So what's going to happen down towards Blanchimont? Don't know if you meant to pronounce the T at the end. Looks like we've got quite a bit more straight line speed than that McLaren, but not so good through the corners as we run wide over the curb and the AstroTurf, while the McLaren keeps it on track very nicely. Massive concertina effect then into the chicane. Can I nip past the McLaren on the inside of the second part? It's going to be a drag race down towards turn 1. Looks like he's got the better of us on the first part of it. Shifts up into 5th, and I think we were starting to claw it back. He's on the inside for turn 1 though, and I think that's one of my other teammates up ahead going for a move on that golden Aston, while I held it round the outside of the aforementioned McLaren. There we go. Nearly said Ferrari. Not particularly to make you get mixed up. But yeah, no, move was done, and I completely butchered Eau Rouge, or Raidillon even. Someone's going to pick me up on that at some point, I'm sure. It doesn't look like I seemed to care at the time, though. When I cut it that much, I'd expect myself to have perhaps lifted off a little bit. But no, apparently not on this occasion. Oh, and Pluto's passed him in the background as well. Yeah, that McLaren's seemingly really struggling on the straight line speed front, especially in that run down the Kemmel, which is all very, very high speed, thanks to the amazing amount of momentum you can carry out of Raidillon. Oh, that's... I briefly looked away slightly there. Not exactly sure what happened. I think my teammate might have got a little bit involved with that Aston Martin. Yeah, maybe not so good. Tell you what, though, that is a much nicer, cleaner run around Raidillon. I'm still dipping wheels over the curb, but I think that was just about legal. And a fantastic run past the McLaren. Lovely. So towards the end of, well, later on that lap, oh, that's not good. Hate that corner, second Stavelot, touch the gravel on the exit, lose momentum, and I've got the McLaren alongside. We do know that I'm going to be better at the top end though. A little bit of a contact there. He's going to be on the outside. I've taken the grass through Blanchimont. Not ideal, and we're still too wide. I was expecting to see the McLaren carry a lot more momentum and absolutely take the position. Oh, and I've gone deep. This has got to be his chance to take it. Squeezed on the curb in there. But yeah, there we go. Not my finest moment. 3 pretty terrible corners in a row, really. A couple of laps later then, on to lap 7. And seems like we've closed up down the Kemmel again. Again, as we're starting to expect, and they are going to swap positions in front of me. How interesting. Can I follow the other McLaren through on this McLaren? Doesn't look like it. Although, alright, maybe it does look like it. Up the inside through there. Going to be on the outside for the left-hander. I think, is that the left-hander that was no-name corner? And I kept misremembering who they had decided to name it after. Is it Rint that they've called it now? Always used to be no-name and they've called it Rint. I think I thought that they called it Hunt, but I don't think they did. It might be Rint, or I could be wrong. If someone could let me know in the comments, that would be brilliant, because I can't be bothered to look it up. But yes, while I'm rambling, we're fighting quite hard with that McLaren in front. Definitely seems to be slower paced than the other McLaren that overtook him just earlier on in this lap. And I tell you what, I thought I was going to set up for a move on the McLaren there, because he'd gone deep at the first part of the chicane, but diving into the pits, not a bad idea at all. And coming out of the pits, doesn't look like there's anybody around me. It's pretty handy. Hopefully it can make this clean air count. So that's me out lap completed, onto lap 9 now. As we come round turn 1, is there going to be anyone coming out the pits? Nope. Oh, yes there is. Okay. Someone behind me. And that is that McLaren. Perfect 1 lap undercut. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. So another 1 lap later, a decent lap there, nearly 3/10 up on my best. Around turn 1 once again, and we've got a bunch of people coming out the pits in front of me. Oh wow, that's all change. So Ronaldo in the other VPR car that was ahead of me is now behind me. Pluto was behind me and is now ahead of me. And I've got no idea where that BMW was, but that's some avoiding action. Not yet. Eau Rouge and Raidillon, not easy on cold tyres. Not easy when you've got a car coming out in front of you that you're trying to avoid. Once again, Pluto is dropping behind me on the Kemmel Straight. I had a better run because I was on a flying lap while he was at the pits. Again, I don't know, he may well have lifted off. Like I said, we had a very good relationship with each other at VPR. We tended not to fight each other too hard, so maybe he was just being aware of the fact that he was on cold tyres. And we were starting to catch some people there. Didn't see them well enough to know if they were GT4s or GT3s. But once again, coming up to people, I decided to dive into the pits for my second and final pit stop of this race with 12 laps to go. That is a very long last stint. So once again, out lap completed, into turn 1, around turn 1, out of turn 1, and Pluto's jumped me again! Damn it, Pluto! So yeah, whatever I said right at the start about potentially, you know, maybe we both thought I might have more pace in the race, so he let me go. Yeah, not proving to be the case in the slightest, considering he's jumped me both times through strategy. But, I mean, for the 3rd time in this race, we're going to have a very good run on him. Am I going to go for the move? Just while he's on cold tyres, maybe? Yep, okay. A bit later on down the straight than I did last time. And it was still, you know, it was a bit of a move. And I'll continue to reiterate that we're nice and friendly. We didn't fight too hard. So Pluto. Could have held it round the outside and been a real pain, but I don't know, that was alright, so we're currently in 4th place, after more people have played their pit stops, and that is not where you want to catch a GT4 car, especially when they have to brake in the middle of a Rouge like that, or is that part of Raidillon? I don't know where the middle part is. Yeah, and then getting boxed in as well, as Pluto's got a much better run and manages to overtake me thanks to the GT4 traffic. And I lose another position to the golden Aston Martin as well. That is gutting. You know how I said in the last video about, oh yeah, it was moments like that where the recording failed and I didn't see the overtake, so I didn't get around to doing the video because it was kind of annoying. And well, massive moments like that. Oh, that's tight. But massive moments like that when you're up behind the GT4s and you lose 2 positions through traffic management. Oh, that's gutting as well. And I think that might be an extra reason why this video stayed stacked up behind the other one for so long, because no one wants to see that. Well, you guys might. You might find it interesting. I don't know. Maybe you all masochists find enjoyment in my pain. But, I'm not gonna lie, I'd forgotten that happened when I started watching the video. And as it was started to happen, I was like, oh god, no, I remember that. Anyway, still rambling. We've got the Golden Aston making a move around the outside of Pluto, who's sort of been a little bit forceful there. Oh, there's a bit of contact between them, and I could not get round him, get out of the way. That would have been a nice way to pick up a position with someone making a mistake in front of you. Well, I don't know. There was a bit of argy-bargy between the boys ahead, and I just failed to capitalise. And look at that, we've got another VPR car right in my mirrors. Obviously, all three of us, me and the two cars ahead, probably lost quite a bit of time in that little squabble. So, Ronaldo definitely benefiting. I mean, just look at that. He's all over the back of us. He's getting a run. Is he? He's... yeah, no. The potentially one exception to the nice and friendliness, I must admit, when that happened in the race, I was like, why are you going for that there? That's not a particularly common overtaking point, but, I mean, it is, you know, we're all VPR, it doesn't matter if we're swapping places. It doesn't matter if we finish... oh, he's gone for a dive there, and he's going to be tight on the exit. And, yeah, potentially questionable. I don't know. And the Aston backed off to record a clip of that incident, which did get submitted, and Ronaldo did unfortunately get a penalty, if I remember correctly. I think it was just like a 2-place penalty or 3-place penalty or whatever it was to get him back behind the Aston at the end. I thought it was potentially a little bit harsh. If you watch it back, I know Ronaldo has gone in very deep, but he was still just trying to make the corner cleanly, just on a terrible line. And unfortunately there was contact, which, you know, it did hinder the Aston. So I guess if you hinder someone that badly, you're always likely to get a penalty, but that's part of racing at the end of the day, isn't it? It's no biggie. So technically, with that, I think Ronaldo actually must have ended up getting past Pluto as well. That's just a hypothesis at the moment. I won't confirm it until I can see it. Yeah, there he is. So Ronaldo would have been put back behind the Aston. So that ended up being a 2-3 for VPR. Well, it was a 2-3 with VPR with or without the penalty, but 2-3-4 without and 2-3-5 with. I don't know. That was actually a pretty entertaining race. I'm not super hyped at the end of it because of I feel I did lose out just through to traffic management, but you know, that's part of multi-class racing. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one. Goodbye.